Hola people, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca. I film from Kaduna, Nigeria. What's up? How you doing? So it's an examination season in Ahmadu University Zaria, and I just thought to share my own experience, my first examination experience on the same campus. How interesting. It was the year 2010 and I had just gained admission to study diploma in mass communication in Ahmadu University Zaria, and if you're conversant with my story, you would understand that I had resumed very late. I think I resumed up to 3 months after the initial resumption, and it's really affected me. I had missed so many lectures. I even missed CAs. Some of the CAs that I met were nothing to write home about. And although I feel, looking at it now, considering how far I have come with my life, I think that I have a thing with beginning late and having a super awesome result. That's some sort of superpower that I have, but that is not the story for today, because at the end of the day, back then, I emerged best students in my class back to back, even though I was almost literally the last person, to resume back then. And my struggle then was not to top the class. It was not my intention. My intention was to pass, was to make my parents proud, was to make myself proud, and to feel that I have not wasted my time coming, because I had a choice of staying back when I realized that they had resumed even before I heard. So I had the choice of staying back in Badagry, but I chose to come down. So coming down shouldn't be, waste of resources, waste of time, coupled with the fact that I had even lost my luggage on arrival. It was just a whole lot that happened to me then. So I was determined to make it. I was determined to come out in flying colors. So I was trying to do a payback time with exams. So I studied so hard. I studied with my peers. I met senior students, asked them questions. How do I attempt university questions? Is it different from where I'm coming from, from the secondary school? And it was just a lot. I was really prepared, honestly. I can beat my chest now that I was 101% ready by the time I was walking into that first examination hall back then in 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, that experience is one I want to share today. Mass communication questions back then were applied questions. You wouldn't say things like, oh, what are media theories, and explain 3 out of these, list 3 theories and explain. No, there were questions like, when you find yourself in this situation as a media strategist, what are you going to do? What theories would you apply and why? They were really applied questions, and I think I'm an essay person, so those were the kind of questions I loved. So I had seen the past questions, I had attempted them, and I was so eager, to sit for these exams. So, sorry, I'm deviating so much. So yeah, I walked into the examination hall that day, very prepared, very confident. In fact, I sat in front, to just show you I don't want distractions. I don't want to talk in exam hall. It's not even okay to do that. So I sat in front and I looked at my exam questions. 3 hours for 3 questions. Oh, superb. So what did I do? Quickly, I opened to the last page. I scribbled some things so that I don't forget. Remember, these were applied questions. I might, have an idea now, and before I get to the question, I probably would have forgotten. So quickly, I just listed out how I would approach all 3 questions. And by the time I finished doing these at the back page, I had spent like 15 to 20 minutes already. So what I did next was to allocate specific time across the questions, 45 minutes here, 45 minutes here, 45 minutes here, and I started working. So I was done with the first 45 minutes. I finished attempting the first question. I was okay with it. Then I started the second question. I was in the middle of the second question when the invigilator said, you have 5 minutes more. I be here, they pay me. 5 minutes what? 5 minutes more. Okay. Maybe this man saw me when I was doing this. Okay, probably 5 minutes more for this question. It's not possible that it's 5 minutes more for the entire questions. Like 5 minutes more. And this man repeated 5 minutes more. At the end of 5 minutes, if you're caught writing, I will write examination malpractice on your paper, blah, blah, blah. So I signaled to the second invigilator. Okay, this one looks older, more fatherly. I'm sure he would, fall for my pretty face. He would fall for my babish, childlike, looks and all that. So I called him. Sorry, sir. The man came. Sir, on this question paper, it's written 3 hours and we've barely spent 2 hours and it's saying 5 more minutes. And the man looked me dead in the eyes and said, well, I guess you just have to round up in 5 minutes. Just write what you can write. Just quickly finish in 5 minutes. Ah, Daddy, how far? I felt so bad. I felt so terrible. So I have 5 minutes to finish this up and do the next one. And before I could even finish contemplating, this man said 4 more minutes. When it was remaining 1 hour, you knew what you were going to do. When it was remaining 1 hour, you didn't say, you didn't announce. When it was 30 minutes, you did not announce. When it was 15 minutes, you did not announce. When it was 5 minutes, when you knew you were not going to give us the time allotted on the question paper. I felt so bad. I was devastated. I was confused. I didn't even know what to do. So I left the second question halfway and I ran to the third question and I just started answering. I think I just did an introduction and I started listing the things I was supposed to spend more time on explaining. I just started listing them, just listing with a broken heart. At the end of that examination, I felt so bad because that man didn't give us even an extra second. As soon as it was 5 minutes, he just told us to leave our papers and walk out. I think I literally shed tears that day. I was so devastated. I met the lecturer, the course coordinator, for that particular course, and I explained to him. The man was just shaking his head. I was like, oh, okay. And I think I got a B for that course. I was aiming for an A, but I got a B, and I felt so bad, honestly. Anyways, after that experience, I got smarter. I wrote faster. I didn't care about how my handwriting was looking because initially I was taking my time to write. I want my, this kind of calligraphy. I wanted my handwriting to be so beautiful, so fine to look upon. I didn't care about that. I just wanted it to be legible, so far people can read it. It doesn't have to be so fantastic. So, and also a lot in times, to questions I did better. Instead of all those 45 minutes, I was doing like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and it was effective. It just made me to be more time conscious. I was smarter. Most times I would even finish way ahead of the time given, for the exams. Looking back now, I just laugh at my naivety and and the wickedness of that invigilator. That was unfair. If you knew you were not going to allow us spend the 3 hours given to us, you should have told us from the very beginning, not into the exams. You should have just told us, just tell us. So I would work with that in mind. Anyways, you have similar experience. Can you relate? What was your first examination experience on campus, or really what experience what experience looking back now, what experience relating to examination on campus can you think of? And I want you to share them in the comment section below. Kindly like this video, drop your comments, share with your friends, and see you in my next video. Bye.